Good morning, everyone. I welcome you back to the class. In our previous class, we discussed on how we can estimate mode from an histogram and as well as how we can estimate median from cumulative frequency curve. But today, we are going to discuss on quartiles, interquartile range, percentile, and deciles. Now, quartiles are the values which divide the distribution into four equal parts. Namely, we have first quartile represented by Q1, which is also called lower quartile. We have the second quartile represented by Q2, and it is the same thing as median, because we said that the quartile divide the distribution to four. When you now say second quartile now, that is a half, so it's the same thing as median. Now, third quartile represented by Q3, and the same thing as upper quartile, while the last one is fourth quartile, and it is denoted by Q4. Now, the second quartile invariably, as I've said earlier, is the median, while the fourth quartile is the whole distribution. But our major concern today shall be on Q1 and Q3, that is, the first and the third quartile respectively. Now, what is the meaning of interquartile range? Interquartile range is the difference between the upper quartile and the lower quartile. So what you need to do for you to get the interquartile range, you find the upper quartile, find the lower quartile, which is Q1 and Q2 respectively. So you now take away Q1 from Q3. So that gives you interquartile range. Now we moved on to percentile. Percentiles are averages that divide the whole distribution into 100 equal parts. So it divides the whole distribution into 100 equal parts. So while the last one, which is decile, divide the whole distribution into 10 equal parts. So when we say 10 equal parts, is that very simple to get. By the time we get to the workings now, you understand more on that. So what we are going to do today is very simple. We are going to determine or estimate percentile, interquartile range, quartile, and decile from cumulative frequency curve, OGIF. Now, how do you go about it? For you to determine Q1 and Q3, interquartile range, percentile, and decile from the OGIF, then you have to follow these steps. For Q1, which is lower quartile, the first thing you are going to do, find 1/4 of the cumulative frequency and draw a line from this value to the curve, then to the horizontal axis. So for Q3, you first find the 3/4 of cumulative frequency, that is total frequency, and draw a straight line from this value to the curve, then to the horizontal axis. That is exactly how to get your Q3. Now for interquartile range, what you need to do is to find Q1 and Q3, and after that, so you find the Q1 and Q3 of the cumulative frequency respectively, and their corresponding value on the horizontal axis from the curve. Then take away Q1 from Q3. That's what I'm saying, that for you now to get the interquartile range, you first find the Q3, you find Q1, you now find you look at their value from the cumulative frequency, you draw the line to the curve, and then to the horizontal axis. So when you get that for Q3, you get that for Q1. So the value you get, you take away the value of Q1 from Q3. That gives you the value for interquartile range from the cumulative frequency curve. Now for the percentile, that is, for example, you want to find the 68th percentile. Now what you need to do is to calculate 60 over 100 of cumulative frequency and draw a straight line from this value to the curve, then from the curve to the horizontal axis. So it says 60 over 100 times the total frequency. So after that, whatever you get, you go to your cumulative frequency, draw that value to the curve, and from the curve to the horizontal axis, that gives you the percentile you are asked to find. Now for decile, so let me just say you are asked to find the 8th decile. So for you to find 8th decile, what you need to do is to calculate 8 over 10 of cumulative frequency, that is total frequency. After getting that, you draw a straight line from this value to the curve, and from the curve down to the horizontal axis. So there you get the decile that you asked to determine from the cumulative frequency curve. Now look at this example. Say the following is the frequency distribution of marks scored by 100 students of Gloria High School in the mathematics examination. Now question 1, make a frequency table and use it to draw a cumulative frequency curve. That is number 1. Number 2, use your curve to estimate 1, upper quartile, 2, lower quartile, 3, interquartile range, 4, 7th decile, and the last one, 85th percentile. Now, in our previous class, we've talked on how to prepare a cumulative frequency table, and as well how to draw cumulative frequency curve. So from the table given to us, we can prepare our cumulative frequency table with 4 columns. The first column stands for the marks, the second column stands for the class boundary, but here I put only upper class boundary because that's what we need in our graph. Then followed by the frequency. Now after frequency, we have the cumulative frequency, as you can see here. Now we use this table now to draw the graph. Very simple. The vertical line stands for our cumulative frequency, and the horizontal line stands for the upper class boundary. So you now plot the cumulative frequency against the upper class boundary. Now, from this graph now, the total frequency here is 100. As you can see, the total frequency is 100. So for us to now get Q1 from the graph, the first thing we need to do is to find 1 over 4 times 100, and that won't give us 25. Now, from that cumulative frequency, now you trace 25 to the curve, and from that curve to the horizontal axis. That is how to get the Q1, as you can see from the graph. Now, for Q3, which is also called upper quartile, so we find 3 over 4 times 100, which will give us 75. Then you look at where we have 75 on our cumulative frequency. You draw a straight line to the curve, and from the curve down to the horizontal axis. That's exactly how to get our Q3, which is upper quartile. Now, for our interquartile range, very simple. Since you have gotten the value for Q3 and Q1, we now take away the value of Q1 from Q3, and that gives us the interquartile range. Now, for 7th decile, what we need to do is to first find the 7 over 10 times 100, and that will give us 70. Then we trace from our cumulative frequency where we have 70, you draw a straight line to the curve, and from the curve down to the horizontal axis. That gives us 7th decile. And the last one, for us to get the 85th percentile, You first calculate 85 over 100 times 100, which also give us 85. So go to our cumulative frequency. So draw a straight line from 85 to the curve, and from the curve to the horizontal axis. So what we get there it is our 85th percentile. Now, if you can see, look at the graph very well. So these are Q1, these are Q3, and these are 85th percentile, and these are 7th decile. So from there, you will see that from our graph now, Q upper quartile, which is Q3, is 54.5, and lower quartile, which is Q1, is 36.5. Interquartile range, which is Q3 minus Q1, is 54.5 minus 36.5, which will give us 18.0. And 7th decile is equal to 53.5, while the 85th percentile is equal to 61.5. So you can find 80 percentile, 70 percentile, just any question you ask, any percentile you have to find, just follow the same step. Very simple. It's not more than that. That is exactly how to go about the quartile, interquartile range, percentile, and decile from cumulative frequency curve. God bless you. I love you all.